Video Phantom! Scary stories!
Before we begin, please make sure you visit our Video Phantoms website every day and check out all of the new content and cool stuff we have for you over there. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you won't miss whenever we upload next. With that being said, let's grab your popcorn and enjoy the video.
The Haunting of Maple Street. Maple Street was one of those quiet, unassuming neighborhoods where everyone knew everyone and nothing ever seemed to change. The houses were old but well-maintained, each with its own story passed down through generations. Yet, for all its charm, Maple Street held a dark secret that had been forgotten over the years. It all started when Ben, a nostalgic 30-something with a penchant for all things retro, moved into the old Thompson house. He was a collector of vintage items, and his latest obsession was VHS tapes. He had shelves full of them, and he spent his evenings watching old movies on his vintage VCR. It was his escape from the modern world's hustle and bustle. One sunny Saturday, Ben decided to visit a local flea market to hunt for more tapes. He wandered through the stalls, enjoying the sight of old trinkets and forgotten treasures. At the far end of the market, tucked away in a dusty corner, he found a booth run by an elderly man. The sign read Rare Finds, and Ben's curiosity was piqued. Looking for something special? The old man asked, his voice raspy with age. Just browsing, Ben replied, eyeing the stacks of VHS tapes. The man smiled, revealing a set of yellowed teeth. I have something you might be interested in. It's a bit unusual. Ben's interest was immediately piqued. What is it? The old man reached under the table and pulled out a dusty wooden box. He opened it carefully to reveal a collection of VHS tapes, each one with a handwritten label. These tapes are unique. They belong to a filmmaker who, well, let's just say he had a very vivid imagination. Ben looked at the tapes, noticing the titles, The Forgotten, The Unseen, The Haunting. He felt a chill run down his spine, but his curiosity outweighed his unease. How much for the lot? The old man leaned closer. Take them. No charge. Just be careful with them. Ben was surprised but didn't argue. He took the box, thanked the man, and headed home, eager to see what secrets these tapes held. That night, Ben settled into his favorite armchair with a bowl of popcorn. He chose a tape labeled The Forgotten and slid it into the VCR. The screen flickered, and a grainy image appeared. It was an old home video, shaky and poorly lit. A family was gathered around a dinner table, laughing and talking. There was something off about the scene, something that made Ben's skin crawl. As he watched, the laughter grew louder and more distorted. The faces of the family members began to blur and warp, their eyes turning black. Ben felt a sense of dread wash over him. He tried to stop the tape, but the VCR wouldn't respond. The screen went black, and then a new image appeared. It was his living room, filmed from the exact spot where he was sitting. Ben's heart raced as he watched himself on the screen, mirroring his every move. Suddenly, the figure on the screen turned to look directly at him, a sinister smile spreading across its face. Panicking, Ben yanked the tape from the VCR and threw it across the room. The house was silent, but he felt a presence, something watching him from the shadows. He decided to call it a night and went to bed, hoping to shake off the eerie feeling. The next morning, Ben found the tape back in its box, as if it had never been removed. He tried to brush it off as a trick of his mind, but the sense of unease lingered. Determined to understand what was happening, he watched another tape, The Unseen. This time, the footage showed a young woman exploring an abandoned house. As she moved through the dark rooms, strange whispers filled the air. The camera caught glimpses of shadowy figures moving just out of sight. Ben's breath quickened as he felt the atmosphere in his own house grow colder. Suddenly, the woman on the tape screamed, and the screen went black. A message appeared, written in blood-red letters. You're next. Ben's heart pounded in his chest. He knew he had to find out more about these tapes and the filmmaker behind them. He spent the next few days researching, but there was no record of the filmmaker or the tapes. It was as if they didn't exist. Desperate for answers, Ben returned to the flea market, but the old man and his booth were gone. He asked around, but no one remembered seeing such a booth or an elderly man. Frustrated and scared, Ben decided to watch the final tape, The Haunting, hoping it would provide some clues. The tape started with a warning. Once you begin, there's no turning back. Ben hesitated but pressed play. The screen showed a series of disturbing images. A decaying house, blood-stained walls, and grotesque figures lurking in the shadows. The scenes changed rapidly, each more horrifying than the last. Ben felt a growing sense of dread as the images seemed to reach out from the screen, threatening to pull him in. Suddenly, the tape showed his own house. The camera moved through the rooms, finally stopping at his bedroom door. Ben's blood ran cold as he watched the door creak open. Inside, the figure from the first tape stood by his bed, watching him sleep. Terrified, Ben ran to his bedroom, but it was empty. He felt a cold breeze and turned to see the figure standing in the doorway, its eyes black and soulless. It smiled, and Ben felt an overwhelming sense of despair. "You shouldn't have watched the tapes," the figure whispered. Ben tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure moved closer, and Ben felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He closed his eyes, praying it was all a nightmare. When he opened them, he was back in his living room, the tapes scattered around him. The VCR was off, and the house was silent. Ben's heart raced as he tried to make sense of what had happened. He decided to get rid of the tapes, hoping it would end the nightmare. He drove to a remote area and buried the tapes, feeling a sense of relief as he covered them with dirt. But as he turned to leave, he heard a faint whisper, "You'll never escape." Ben rushed home, trying to convince himself it was over. But that night, the nightmares began. He dreamt of the figures from the tapes, their cold eyes watching him, their whispers filling his mind. He woke up in a cold sweat, the feeling of dread growing stronger each night. Days turned into weeks, and Ben's life began to unravel. He lost his job, his friends, and his sanity. The figures from the tapes haunted his every waking moment, driving him to the brink of madness. He knew he had to find a way to break the curse. Desperate, Ben visited a local historian who specialized in the occult. He explained his situation, and the historian listened intently. "The tapes you found are part of an ancient curse," the historian explained. "They were created by a filmmaker who dabbled in dark magic. He used the tapes to trap the souls of his victims, feeding off their fear and despair." "Is there any way to stop it?" Ben asked, his voice trembling. "There is a way," the historian replied. "You must find the filmmaker's grave and burn the tapes there. It is the only way to break the curse." Ben set out on his quest, armed with the historian's instructions. He searched through old records and finally found the filmmaker's grave in a forgotten cemetery on the outskirts of town. The grave was overgrown with weeds, the headstone cracked and weathered. He dug up the tapes and placed them on the grave. As he lit the fire, he felt a sense of finality, a hope that the nightmare would end. The flames consumed the tapes, and the air was filled with the smell of burning plastic. As the fire died down, Ben felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He left the cemetery, hoping he had finally found peace. But as he drove home, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. That night, Ben slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. But in the early hours of the morning, he woke to a chilling sight. The figures from the tapes stood around his bed, their eyes black and soulless. "You thought you could escape," the leader whispered, "but the curse is forever." Ben screamed, but no one heard. The figures closed in, their cold hands reaching out to drag him into their world of eternal torment. The last thing Ben saw was the sinister smile of the figure from the first tape, and then darkness consumed him. Maple Street remained quiet and unassuming, its dark secret hidden once more. The old Thompson house stood empty, its new owner vanished without a trace. And somewhere in the depths of a forgotten cemetery, the ashes of the cursed tapes lay undisturbed, waiting for the next curious soul to unleash their horrors.
Hey, what's up, guys? This your boy Quan318. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to grow. And guys, if you really enjoyed the video, please give it a share on social media, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you guys be hanging out at the most. It really helps, and I appreciate it, guys. Also, my goal is to reach at least 1 million loyal subscribers over the next 5 years. Guys, I'm going to give it everything I got and go hard as I can. Hopefully it pays off for me, guys. And y'all going to be a big part of that. And as I grow, you guys will be rewarded for a lot of stuff for helping me participating. And as just a token of my appreciation, guys, the least I can do. Also, guys, make sure you go down in the video description and click the links. Visit all my websites. I done put hella work into these websites, man. Getting them built up, jam-packed with content just for you guys. You know, we got videos. We got the hottest trending offers online. I'm talking about everything, guys. Everything from education, teaching you how to make $1,000 a day online. Like, man, guys, everything that you can think of is on there. So, guys, make sure you go over there, check it out. Click links, watch videos. do your thing, man. I really want you guys to enjoy. I worked hard on it, and I want you guys to really enjoy it, man. So, yeah. Also, guys, while you're down there in the description, make sure you go and check out my other channels. I got links to all of them down below. I worked hard on these channels, guys. I worked hard on my websites. I worked hard on everything for you guys. Make sure you join my Facebook groups. I got Facebook groups set up for every channel that I got, guys. I'm trying to go global, man. You feel me? It's the family, man. This Rich Founders, man. I want y'all to be part of Rich Founders. Y'all part of the family, man. This a mafia, you feel me? Going worldwide with this shit. But anyway, man, I love you guys. Y'all be blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.